What's up, my precious little pack, and welcome back to VEGA Conflict. Alien Strike has begun, and it's time for the daily recommendations as well as review for the ships. First off, before we get started, I do not use cutters. I have never used cutters. I've never seen much of a use for them aside from rushing and just taking repair time. In the Axis case, you could use them to boost the movement speed of other ships, such as a carrier or a single ship that you just want to be extremely quick. So with that said, let's get started. We're going to go right to the bottom first. Let's see what we have down here. Tokens. Okay, not interested too much. Siege casing. Warcharge warheads. Exophase. Armor. Shadow driver. That is one I can recommend. Alright, let's get started. First off, I would recommend the Exterminator Destroyer because I used it quite a few times in bases and stuff like that, and overall it's just a decent ship to have. It's not the best, but it's decent because when you equip it with long-range weaponry, nothing outranges this, you're always going to get the first shot in. Depending on how hard that shot hits, though, is up to you, depending on what you want to equip on it. My fittings to keep the build times low and produce multiple per month, again, is level 1 just about everything. But I recommend picking up the Exterminator Destroyer Blueprint and the Exterminator Destroyer Free Blank Hull. I would recommend picking up the Decimator Cutter and the Vindicator Cutter, and then the Decimator Cutter Free Blank Hull. Well, it's not free, you still have to pay for it. And to go with them, let's go ahead and let's step down to the cluster missiles. I'd recommend picking up level 3, level 1, then level 2, and the fitting you'd use for the Decimator Cutter would be the level 1 cluster missile. If you want to pick up the heavies, go right ahead. Again, I'm not going to recommend them. Next up, for the Vindicator fitting, Bombardment Torpedo 1 and level 2. Pick them both up, but use level 1. If you want to pick up the Xeno Bombardment Torpedo and have one on your ship, I would recommend it, because that's kind of what I'm doing with my ships. I'm putting at least one alien class weapon, and then the rest is all normal class weapons. Next up, the Heavy Bombardment Torpedo. If you guys want to pick it up and add it to your weapon setup, feel free to, because it's, again, one that I can't say not to pick up, because it's up to you. I haven't used either of these missile classes, so I have no idea how well they would function in combat. Next up, the Shadow Driver. I have used this and I love it. I love my Eclipse Driver just as much, but the Shadow holds a special place. For now. At least until I can get the Void Eclipse Driver with the Dragoon. Then I'm going to say bye-bye. But I'd recommend picking up level 3, level 1, level 2 Shadow Drivers in that order, and then pick up level 1 Xeno Shadow Driver, because I can recommend putting at least one of them on your destroyers, along with a few level 1s or level 2s of the standard Shadow Driver. Now, as for armor, I would recommend picking up the best armor you can get for each class, except for in the Xeno tier, you can pick up the Talonite level 1, because, again, keep fitting times low. But I'd recommend picking up the XL Tungsten Armor, the XL Talonite Armor level 1, then level 2. I'd recommend picking up the Pearl Talonite Armor 2 and level 1. And this time going backwards because most weapons I know and most fittings involve projectile weapons. So picking that up won't hurt. If you're going to get the Vindicator Cutter, pick up the Harmonic Exophase level 3, level 1, and level 2. And for this fitting, I'm actually going to say for it, I would recommend using the Exophase level 1 instead of level 2 or 3 for a change, even though it only has one shield slot. Only due to the fact that it only has one shield slot and you don't want the repair time to go up extremely high. You want a bit more armor on it. Overcharged warheads, don't have any of them, so I can't say exactly what their use is, aside from the fact that it gives them shield bypass only for the cutter, and they increase the explosive weapons radius. Siege casing, this one I can recommend. 1, it bumps up the speed of all projectiles. 2, it gives your ship health. 3, it had the health of it has resistance built in, so it adds a tiny bit of resistance to your overall resistance, just due to the health that it has. Along with that, it does increased module damage, so if you're doing bases, it's going to be a little bit more of a pleasant attack. Next up, Xeno Siege Casing, level 1 and level 2. I'd recommend picking up level 1. I have level 2 because I haven't picked up level 1. But I'd recommend if you use the fitting, I'd say use level 1. And it's specifically a boost for alien damage weapons. It increases their damage against modules by 10%. And now on to the thrusters. If you're picking up the one and only Vindicator, ensure that you pick up the Harmonic Chase Thruster level 3. Then level 1, then level 2. You're going to use level 3 though on the ship, because you're going to want the additional speed benefit. Now if you're picking up the Decimator, you can pick up the Blitz Thruster because it increases your alien damage and explosive damage by a tiny %. And it's only for cutters, so there's that. And as for tokens, depending on which one you pick, if you go with the Xeno Division Decimator Cutter, I'd recommend picking up the Xeno Division's time tokens. Which ones you can, so if you have to pick out only the 4 and 1 hour tokens, do so. Any tokens are better than no tokens. Now if you pick up the Vindicator, the Axis Tier Cutter, definitely try and pick up as many of the time tokens as you can to cut down that build time. But that's going to be it for the recommendations video, everybody. If you have anything to add, or if you have used any of the things that I didn't recommend and they actually are useful, feel free to say so in the comments below so that everybody knows, because I do not know as it stands right now. But that's going to be about it. If you liked the video, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. It really helps. And as always, everybody, I'll see you in the next video. Well, actually, I'll see you later.